and this was your ultimate going-away party. On a Sunday evening atop the concourse for the final time here at Joe Louis Arena. Welcome to Red Wings Live. John Keating and Darren Elliott with you. All the planets aligned today. We got Riley Sheahan off the schneid. Let's start right there, because there was maybe not a lottery, but everybody had an opinion. Who might score the last goal ever at Joe Louis Arena? If you looked at the Red Wings roster, he might have been middling at best.
But he would have been at the top of everyone's list in terms of, wouldn't it make complete sense? A little bit of, the Joe dust magic, the formula, all there, and the stars did align. He not only scored for the first time this season, he scored the last goal ever at the Joe. All right,
well, let's talk about Riley Sheahan and show what he did today in our Miller Lite breakdown. And he came in sitting on that big, fat goose egg, and you could feel the building erupt when he scored early on today.
A nice play. He set the record for the most shots on goal by an NHL player to not score. He scores twice in this one, looking confident in doing so. Riley Sheahan, congratulations to him. Nice kid, nice player, and you know now he has a nicer feeling about the season.
So Riley Sheahan scores 2 goals in this game, his first 2 goals of the season, and yet he wasn't the #1 star of the game. And I looked at my partner and I said, he's not the #1, and he just said, heck.
Stick to the script.
That is perfection. And Mick touched upon it, that Henrik Zetterberg was on the ice at game's end, the last game ever to be played at Joe Louis Arena. And a look at Hank's day is brought to you by Comcast Business and the high-speed highlights.
And certainly, Keith, sticking to a script that if you wrote it this way, it would get rejected for being, that's a little bit too Disney
small
for me.
Too schmaltzy.
But today, the captain carried through on a fantastic season. He sets up a play. He was committed from the outset. Oh, by the way, it just happened to coincide with his 1,000th NHL game with the Red Wings. Oh, by the way, he had his family in a pregame ceremony. From that standpoint, Henrik Zetterberg all smiles along with his teammates after this one.
So the Red Wings turn back the Devils by a 4-1 final in the last ever game at Joe Louis Arena. And amidst a galaxy of stars making their way back to Joe Louis Arena to say goodbye one final time is the guy known in these parts as the captain, Steve Yzerman, with Trevor Thompson live downstairs. T.
John, thank you very much. Here with Steve Yzerman. And Steve, I don't know how long it's been since you felt the electricity like there was in this building today, but what did you think about what you saw here today?
Well, I thought it was fantastic. The game, as far as the standings go, the game didn't have meaning, but the fan base, the people in the building I got to think those players really enjoyed the game on both teams, being a part of that. The atmosphere was great, and then the last 4 or 5 minutes, everybody, cheering and applauding, and I think basically, showing their appreciation for the organization and everything that's happened in this building since '78 or whatnot. Yeah. So, really, I'm really happy to be here for it. It was nice to watch.
And it all coincides with game number 1,000 for Henrik Zetterberg, a guy you played alongside. How special is that game number 1,000 for a player in this league?
Well, hey, it's hard to play 1,000 games in the league, and particularly the way Henrik plays every night. He plays hard. He's got the puck a lot. He takes the beating. He blocks shots. He plays a physical game. So I was here in '02 when in the fall of '02, I think it was, when Henrik played his first game, and pretty much it was evident from when I played against him in the Olympics in '02. Pretty evident that he was going to be a really good player. And similar to Nick Lidstrom, when they framed Pavel was the same way. When they stepped on the ice right away, this guy's going to be a good player for a long time, and he's turned out to be one of the best players, most complete forwards in the game since he's come over in those 1,000 games. And a captain, a leader, everything we could want in a Red Wing player. So I think everybody's very proud of what he's accomplished, and I hope he is. He's had a tremendous career, and he had a fantastic year this year as well.
And certainly you had a lot of accomplishments and an incredible career here as well. What was it like for you to lift that Stanley Cup in this building for these fans?
Geez, it's been a while now, huh? But it was, that was what a lot of people in Detroit wanted. Obviously, this organization wanted, and every player wanted, and myself. being drafted by the Red Wings and a part of the rebuilding process, it was really important to all of us to at some point win a Stanley Cup, and we were able to do that, and to do it the first time and to clinch it on home ice was pretty awesome.
You're about to have a ceremony out here for you and some of your past teammates and alumni in front of all these fans. What's your expectation for that, and how special will these few moments be before they close this building?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see everybody. I've been spend more time with you guys, so I look forward to seeing everyone. I'm very curious. I'm not sure what to expect here tonight, what's going to go down.
Well, let me let you go and enjoy some moments with some of these guys and enjoy the rest of the day, Steve. Thanks for this.
Okay.
There goes Steve Yzerman, captain for this Red Wings franchise for so many years, returning for the closing of the Joe here today, John.
All right, Trev, thanks. Yeah, the two of them touched upon the closing ceremonies to come in probably about 20 minutes time or so, and you want to stay tuned down for one final goodbye today. And part of the Red Wings tradition, part of Red Wings lore, and we've sort of had some fun with it all day, is octopi on the ice. Can we update the latest tally of octopi that made their way from the stands onto the ice? It was 27 at last check, and they came early, and they were thrown with some gusto. They were flung with some gusto, and there you see it, 31. So if you had 31 in the office pool, congratulations. You can pick up that big can of octopi outside Al Sabatka's office, and many of them were keepers. those aren't any that you would throw back.
Well, and the good news is Commissioner Gary Bettman gave his blessing today. Peter did
today.
not.
He gave his blessing today.
Just today. But a lot of fun. Part of the tradition here, and you hope it's one that carries forth to Little Caesars Arena.
All right, and it wasn't just octopi making their way onto the ice. There were some surprises that did as well, and we've talked about some of the dignitaries, some of the former Red Wings who made sure they were here, and they put these guys to work. If we're going to pay for your first-class air travel back to Detroit, we're going to need a little work out of you.
Darren McCarty taking the lead. There's Homer. Murph with that stride. That guy's loving it, huh?
And what was special about today's game is that they had the 3-0 lead, and so some of these moments could be embraced fully, I think. Everybody knew that the outcome of the game really mattered not, but you can sort of bask in everything that was happening because of what was happening, and you're looking live now in the Zamboni area, as it's known here at Joe Louis Arena, where all these players have put their jerseys on from the past, and they will all be introduced to the...
Mac lost his shades for this event. Yeah. I mean, who knows by the time he gets on the ice.
Matthew Dandino, there's Steve Duchesne.
Freddie Olesen to the
Freddie
right.
Olesen, there you
You're at the Joe.
Well, so many. I guess, when I first came here, I was going to come for just a couple of years, and I ended up staying 15. 9 as the coach, but I guess the memories are, everything lasts so long here, Nick Lidstrom and Steve Yzerman and the Ilitch family owning it for so long, and my memory would be obviously the first cup, and then maybe the last one for myself in '02, because I knew I wasn't going to coach anymore. But I think the excitement of the first cup, because Philadelphia was the favorite, because we had to start in Philadelphia, and then it would be, I don't think we were expecting to win in 4 straight. So that was some accomplishment.
Now that we've got a decade and a half to look back on it, how special was that '02 team as far as the NHL lore is concerned?
Well, you have nine Hall of Famers and one more coming with Pavel Datsyuk, and we just gathered as many good players and kept them, and I think players that came to Detroit wanted to come here, and they wanted to stay, and there was this special feeling, especially being on such a great team.
What did this weekend mean for you to be able to return and be a part of it?
Well, I had a pretty busy itinerary, but I wasn't going to miss it. I only came up this morning, but I'm so happy I did.
Scotty, what do you think about the ceremony we're about to have here when they honor some of your former players that you coached and the rest of the alumni here? How special will this ceremony be that's about to take place?
Well, a lot of the players were different than when I was here, but it's the great of the organization to think of them all, invite them all, and be here for this great celebration.
Thanks for this, Scotty, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
To me, a couple of guys knew, and I found out afterwards Stevie was one of them. But that was the moment. I think the four ABC Sports and ESPN, their crew carried it. They'd already signed off to Sports Center.
Wow.
And had to come back because of it. But yeah, very cool stuff. And I remember that Stevie coming with his kids being there. Unreal stuff.
And Barry's longtime assistant, Scotty's longtime assistant, Barry Smith, is in attendance as well. This was a night that they wouldn't miss. And it included exactly the kind of day that you wanted to see Henrik Zetterberg have. Not only did he assist on a goal, not only did he score a goal, he was on the ice at game's end. He made sure that he had the puck as this one was being wrapped up. And he also gave the jersey off his back to a very, very lucky fan. We'll continue.
When you picture the last game in the Joe, except if it would have been a Game 7 Stanley Cup final, but this was very nice. You know, I thought the way the whole season has gone, and you know, we're not making the playoffs, and now we can they put a really good job into this weekend, and I think this building deserves it. It was fun to, as I say, to bring back all the players that have been here, coaches. So it's a perfect ending on otherwise not so good season.
A record $123,000. Somebody's going home with 61-8 out of the Joe in the last day. And here's Justin Advocator.
What an awesome atmosphere tonight. You know, it's just the fans. I mean, I can't say it enough how special they've made this building. Obviously, the Joe has been historic and seen so many great championship teams and great teams in general, and Hall of Famers, some of the best players to play the game. But yeah, it was. You know, it gives you the chills being on the ice, especially towards the end there. The fans are all up and cheering, and yeah, it's you know, you're almost speechless. It's you know, I know Croner and I have both had some great memories here, and it deserved, you know, this building and the fans deserved a strong effort tonight and a win here, and it was only fitting.
Justin, speaking of memories, before you even became a Red Wing, what's a childhood memory that you will always remember from this place?
Actually, I came here. I think I was in 8th grade. I was 11 or 12 years old. Played for the Muskegon Chiefs, and we were playing in our Little Caesars Bantam A League Championship. And you know, the final game, if you got to the finals were held at the Joe. And obviously, I've seen a few games, you know, as a spectator in the stands, and obviously a bunch on TV. You know, but walking into the Joe and walking downstairs, and we got to dress in the NHL visitors locker room, which was, I mean, we thought it was just the coolest thing ever. Taking pictures, and we had these little lineup sticky cards that we were trying to hide all over the visitors locker room and hoping they weren't going to find them and thinking they were going to stay there forever. Obviously they didn't, but and then just skating on the ice for the first time, just seeing all the red seats, it was amazing. Like it was like a childhood, a dream to go out and skate at the Joe at that young of an age. And obviously all the seats were red because there weren't many fans in the stands besides their parents. So, but that was my first real special memory, I think, and moment at the Joe. And was one of not at the time that I know, but one of many to come. So.
Speaking of pictures taken, there were probably 1 million over the course of this day, and that's just me. But all those fans have stuck around for the closing ceremonies and more pictures with the first ever game at Joe Louis Arena. And there's Paul Woods, I believe, scoring the first goal. Dennis Sobchuk, correct?
Yep.
I am corrected.
Mike Liut giving it up. And then the last goal. And who juice. Mary Brady, is she getting credit for this prediction a month ago? I think it was more of a suggestion that wouldn't it be cool? Well, it was absolutely cool and all that for Riley Shane, scoring twice tonight.
So congratulations to Riley Shane. It's been an absolute miserable season. While he's played pretty well, and we heard at the trade deadline, lots of people had interest in Riley Shane perhaps joining their team.
Got a decent shot off. The second one was just kind of a good bounce there through the crease and had a wide open net, so it was nice to get a bounce like that. Yeah, it was a huge relief. Unfortunately, it came a little late, but I think the guys rallied pretty hard tonight, and we ended off this final season at the Joe, I guess, with some good effort.
Jimmy, what goes through your mind when you see Riley have a game like that after the tough season he's had?
Well, when he got his first one, I almost jumped out of my skates. I was so happy for him, and you know, I had a smile from ear to ear, and he said he could see it from the bench. So I was really excited for him.
Riley, and then scoring the second one, what does it mean to you to always be the answer to a trivia question, who scored the last goal at Joe Louis Arena?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of things I'll remember in my career, and it's definitely one of them. I mean, I guess in the bigger picture, it's unfortunate that they came so late. That's the one thing that goes through my mind. But it is pretty cool, and it's something I'll definitely take with me for the rest of my career.
What was it like for both of you guys to be walking the same red carpet with the legends that came before you and established the winning culture with the Detroit Red Wings franchise?
It was definitely humbling. You know, every single day when you walk into this building, you see the history and, you know, all the hard work and dedication that was put forth before you. And, you know, you just try to go out there every single day and to live up to that because the standard is, you know, been set so high, and you just, every single day, you know, for this organization, you go out there and you try to, you know, set the bar higher. But, you know, it's just unfortunate, you know, the way this year played out.
Jimmy, when you look around here and you see all the old former players, is it a sense of belonging? I mean, you know that you've arrived, you're here, you're part of what is going to be here forever.
Yeah, it's a little surreal right now. You know, seeing all the greats, all the Hall of Famers that you know, have walked here before us, and you know, have played their hearts out. You know, tonight was fitting. You know, the way we came out and you know, took it to them in the first, and you know, was able to, you know, walk out of here with a 4-1 win.
Riley, after your first goal, your mother was talking to us after the end of the first period, and she had talked about how she was crying and the emotions and having the family all there. What is that like for you to know that you have this kind of family support? And she said she felt like an idiot for crying. But
it's amazing. I mean, they come down quite a bit, and they have the most support, and it's awesome. I mean, I can't say, there's no words that describe it. So she cries pretty easily, so I guess I can believe you when you say that. But I think just the biggest thing for me was the support of them, and then seeing my teammates, how happy they were. I guess it's just a great group of guys, a great family atmosphere with the Wings organization, and I'm glad myself and my family can be a part of it.
Jimmy, can you describe the atmosphere from Steve coming out and lots of chants? And I mean, I think there must have been dozens of octopi that landed on the ice.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's fun to be able to see that, you know, tradition carried out here at the Joe. And, you know, wouldn't expect any other type of response from our fans for Stevie. You know, he's a legend. He's one of the best, if not the best, to ever come through here. And, you know, it was just a great response from our fans for him.
Number 2, Yuri Fisher. Here on behalf of her late husband, number 2, Brad McCrimmon, please welcome Maureen McCrimmon. behalf of his late father, number 3, Steve Chason, please welcome Mike Chason. Number 3, Andreas Lilia. Number 3, Bob Rouse. Number 4, Rick Zombo. Number 7, Red Berenson. Appearing earlier today here at the Joe and watching tonight's ceremony from home, let's hear it for number 7, Terrible Ted Lindsay. Number 8, Dennis Polanich. Here on behalf of the greatest to ever play the game, number 9, Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe, please welcome his grandson, Travis Howe. On behalf of his grandfather, number 10, Alex Del Vecchio, welcome Joe Del Vecchio. Number 11, Dan Cleary. Number 11, Matthew Dandino. Here on behalf of his late father, Hall of Famer number 12, Sid Abel, welcome Jerry Abel. Number 12, Jimmy Carson. Number 14, Brent Fedek. Number 14, Nick Libet. Number 15, Paul Woods. Number 15, Jason Woolley. Number 16, Vladimir Konstantinov. And number 17, Doug Brown. Number 17, Gerard Gallant. Number 18, Kirk Maltby. Number 20, Dwight Foster. Give him a warm welcome, gang. Hall of Famer, number 20, Mickey Redman. Number 21, Boyd Devereaux. Number 21, Paul Eisebart. Hall of Famer number 22, Dino Ciccarelli. number 22, Dennis Hextall. Number 22, Mike Canubo. Hall of Famer number 24, Chris Chelios. Here on behalf of her late husband, number 24, Bob Probert, please welcome Danny Probert. Number 25, Darren McCarty. Number 25, John O'Grodnick. Number 26, Joe Kosher. Number 27 and now assistant coach, Doug Huda. Number 27, Frederick Olesen. Number 28, Steve Duchesne. Number 29, Mike Vernon. Number 30, Chris Osgood. Number 30, Greg Steffen. Number 32, Tim Shovelday. Number 34, Manny Legacy. Number 37, Michael Samuelson. Number 41, Brent Gilchrist. Number 41, Eddie Mio. Number 44, Todd Bertuzzi. Number 44, Aaron Downey. Number 44, Anders Eriksson. Hall of Famer number 55, Larry Murphy. And number 96, Thomas Holmstrom. Dr. John Finley. Former radio announcer Bruce Martin. Radio play-by-play voice Ken Cal. Former head coach Wayne Maxner. Former coach Barry Smith. Former head coach Scotty Bowman. And the head coach of your Detroit Red Wings, Jeff Blashill. And now please direct your attention to the bench as we welcome to the ice your hockey operations staff. Assistant coach John Torchetti. Assistant coach Pat Ferschweiler. Video coach Dave Noel Bernier. Goaltending coach Jeff Saleko. Assistant video coach Matt DeSpirit. Athletic trainer Pete Van Zant. Assistant athletic trainer Russ Bowman. Strength and conditioning coach Mike Kadar. Team masseur Sergey Chekmarev. Massage therapist Einar Tregus. Assistant equipment manager Brady Munger. Assistant equipment manager John Remigis. And a member of the equipment staff since 1994, a four-time Stanley Cup champion, equipment manager Paul Boyer. And now, for one final time here at the Joe, your 2016-17 Detroit Red Wings. Number 3, Nick Jensen. Alternate captain number 8, Justin Abdelkader. Number 14, Gus Nyquist. Number 15, Riley Sheehan. Number 18, Robbie Russo. Number 20, Drew Miller. Number 21, Tomas Tatar. Number 22, Matt Larito. Number 25, Mike Green. Number 34, Peter Mrazek. Number 35, Jimmy Howard. Number 39, Anthony Mantha. Number 41, Luke Glendenny. Number 43, Darren Hell. Number 46, Ben Street. Number 48, Ryan Sproul. Number 51, Franz Nielsen. Number 52, Jonathan Erickson. Alternate captain number 55, Nicholas Cronwall. Number 61, Xavier Wallet. Number 65, Danny DeKaiser. Number 71, Dylan Larkin. Number 83, Tomasz Nosek. Number 72, Andreas Athanasiou. And number 93, Johan Franzen. And now, Hockey Time, let's welcome those that wore the C here at the Joe. Your captain for 20 seasons, number 19, Steve Yzerman. Your captain for 6 seasons, number 5, Nick Lidstrom. And lastly, the captain of your Detroit Red Wings, number 40, Henrik Zetterberg. And as we say farewell, there's no one better to host this evening's celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox Sports Detroit play-by-play announcer, Ken Daniels.
Yes, after that standing ovation, please be seated. Thank you very much, Eric Friney. Go for it. The most outstanding fans in the National Hockey League.
272 consecutive sellouts, and those who aren't here today 30 years from now will say you were. Thank you to Eric Friney. Thank you to the current and former Red Wing players, coaches, and staff with us, and to every single fan here today in attendance. And to all the fans watching on Fox Sports Detroit or live streaming all over the world on foxsportsdetroit.com. Thank you all for joining us for this final game. Tonight, we are here to celebrate Joe Louis Arena, the 38-year home of your Detroit Red Wings, where we witnessed thousands of thrilling Red Wing games, as well as concerts and shows, college sporting events, and much more. To begin this special ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to thank the Ilitch family for everything they've done. Marion and Chris and Mr. Ilitch was a champion for Detroit. After Mr. I and his wife Marion purchased the Red Wings in 1982, they quickly turned a struggling, forgotten franchise into a perennial contender that won 4 Stanley Cups, 6 President Trophies, and 16 division titles. And while Mr. and Mrs. I have been fantastic owners of the Red Wings for almost 35 years, they've been even better ambassadors for the city of Detroit. Along with their entire family, Mr. and Mrs. Ilitch have shown a tremendous passion for Detroit, dedicating most of their lives to reviving their hometown into a thriving, energetic city once again. And on behalf of the entire organization and all these great fans that are here tonight, I want to say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Ilitch and their family for everything they've done for the Red Wings and for our wonderful city. Mr. Ilitch sadly passed away on February 10th at the age of 87, but he will never be forgotten. His legacy will be carried on in Detroit for generations to come.
Congratulations to Mike and Marion Ilitch. The world knows that this is hockey town.
There was just a passion and a love for the game of hockey, and obviously maybe the biggest reason why it's called Hockey Town.
The culture that's been with the Detroit Red Wings, I think really since Mr. I bought the team, just the passion and the will to win, and they'll do whatever it takes, and they treat their players just so well and make it feel like a family type atmosphere around here.
How dedicated he was to his players and also to the players' families. He really cared about everyone, and he will be dearly missed.
we'll stay fired up all the time in your honor. There have been a lot of incredible moments that took place in this old barn throughout the years. From the first hockey game ever played here on December the 27th, 1979, to the 1980 NHL All-Star Game where Red Wings legend Gordie Howe made his 23rd and final All-Star appearance to that lengthy ovation. And from the game known as the Brawl, Bernie Mac, March 26, 1997. To 3 months later on June the 7th, when the Red Wings clinched their first Stanley Cup championship in 42 years. The memories we've made in this iconic building are endless, and these guys here tonight all had something to do with those fond memories. We have more than 90 former and current Red Wings players, coaches, and staff here with us tonight, taking the ice this last time as we say our final goodbyes. Tonight we're going to hear from some of those legendary players and coaches, as well as others who could not be here with us tonight. And we'll take you down memory lane with some highlight videos featuring some of the greatest moments throughout the past 4 decades. At this time, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker tonight. This legendary player was the Red Wings' 4th overall pick in the first round of the 1983 NHL Draft. He made his Red Wings debut on October 5th, 1983, went on to wear the winged wheel for 22 seasons here at the Joe. A 9-time NHL All-Star, the 1989 Ted Lindsay Award winner, the 1998 Conn Smythe Trophy winner, and a 3-time Stanley Cup champion who brilliantly served as your captain for 19 seasons. His number 19 is in the Raptors. In 2009, enshrined in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Oh, what the heck. Please welcome the captain, Steve Yzerman.
Thank you. The first thing I feel I need to say is I have to congratulate the Detroit Red Wing franchise for an incredible streak of 25 years of consecutive years of making the playoffs. I can attest to you, based on this season, that it is hard to make the playoffs in the National Hockey League. And to do it 25 years in a row is an incredible streak and an incredible feat, and only special organizations in pro sports have the ability to do that. So once again, guys, congratulations to all of you that have participated in that streak, and to all the fans here that were able to witness it and spurn this, cheer this team on and support it. You played a big part in that streak as well. I wish everybody, the present team, the best of luck moving forward and into next season, and I'm sure your goal will be to make the playoffs and start a new streak in Little Caesars Arena. The Ilitch family bought the Red Wings in 1982. I joined the organization in 1983. From that time through the end of my career, even to this day, for the better part of every single game, I had the good fortune to sit on that bench and look up to my right up here and see Mr. and Mrs. Ilitch at virtually every single hockey game. I see Mrs. I up there tonight, Chris, the rest of the Ilitch family. On behalf of all the players that have worn the Red Wing jersey under your ownership, the current team, I can't thank you enough for the commitment, the love, the passion you've shown for the Red Wings. you, your family, Mr. I, Mrs. I, is the biggest reason this Red Wing organization is where it is today, why there's 20,000 plus people in this building today showing the passion for this organization. I thank you on behalf of my family, on behalf of the Detroit Red Wing players, for your commitment to this organization. Like I said, I've had many wonderful memories here. I ironically played my first home game in Joe Louis Arena against the New Jersey Devils. It was a game that we happened to lose, but from that game, to step on the ice, come out of the tunnel, onto the ice in front of a sold-out building, to do that for 22 plus years, to see the passion that everybody showed for the team. There's so many memories. I'm so fortunate and so glad and relieved that one day we could stand here at center ice in June of '97 and raise the Stanley Cup. When I was drafted by Jimmy Devellano, who was the general manager at the time, he had said, we're going to win 5 Stanley Cups. Well, here we are in 2017. The Red Wings have won 4 Stanley Cups. The job isn't done, and I have no doubt this organization will once again raise the Stanley Cup, and Jimmy D will be right. Maybe it took a couple years longer than his plan, but they're going to get that 5th Stanley Cup. And then ultimately, what I must say, playing in this building, it's a unique building. It's beautiful in its simplicity. The players come on the ice. It has a great ice surface. The boards are comfortable. You get hit into these boards. They're a little bit soft. It's a unique arena. It's got its own charm and its own character. It hasn't changed a whole lot since 1978. But ultimately, when I look up in the stands and I see the fans, when I'm here today and I watch this game today, this is what it's been like for every player that's played here since I remember coming back to 1983. So the last thing I can say is to all of you that showed up here and have remained here after the game and showed your love for the organization, your passion for the game, you are every bit as much important to this organization as these players are. And all these trophies that are up here, you played a big part in that. Your passion and support and desire for the Red Wings to do well is a big part of the success of this organization. So for all the players that have played in this building for the Red Wings, I thank you for your support. Like you all, I look forward to getting into Little Caesars Arena and following the Red Wings' success throughout the years. Thanks a lot for coming here tonight, but your love and your passion for the team. And again, I look forward to seeing you in Little Caesars Arena next year as well. So once again, on behalf of all of our players, thank you.
I wish
You know, it was great. As Steve's leaving the stage, he said, Ken, I broke your mic. Don't worry, Steve, you broke all the records, and we're thankful for that. Next up, I'd like to introduce you to a woman who's done a wonderful job as the Joe Louis Arena anthem singer for 27 years. In addition to her Christmas performances at the Fox Theater, as we look up to the video board to relive some of the greatest moments frozen in time throughout the last 38 years, she'll pay her last respects with a final performance at the Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome to the ice, Red Wings' own Karen Newman.
You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you. For all my life I'll keep a part of you with me. And everywhere I am, there you'll be. 'Cause I always saw in you my light, my strength. And I wanna thank you now for all the ways you were right there for me. You were right there for me. For always. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you. For all my life I'll keep a part of you with me. And everywhere I am, there you'll be. And everywhere I am, there you'll be. There you'll be.
Well, I'm very proud. Great job, Karen, first of all. Outstanding again, as always. Very proud to be joined by my longtime broadcast partner and good friend, Mickey Redmond. That number 20 looks very good on you.
Thank you. What a job. Hell of a job.
You awesome?
No surprise.
We need some company up here, so we're going to do a Q&A here. Try not to stump any of them. First up, Red Wings assistant captain, forward, number 8, Justin Abdelkader. Joined by Red Wings legends Darren McCarty, Thomas Holmstrom, Mike Vernon.
All right, I got first line.
Look at that. Holmstrom took a seat beside the goaltender rather than right in front of him. Nicely done.
Yeah. Normally.
Battle for position already. Dan O'Halloran's not
Hey,
here.
you
You're
better
okay.
watch out. Bernie will kick his ass, though.
Yeah, he will. I've seen him punch. Mick, all yours.
Okay. Darren McCarty, let's start with you. Now the seat is empty here from the game. You've had a lot of memories in this building. This may be a goofy question of why the memory will come back to you, but there's any one favorite memory? I think we know the answer. What's your favorite memory of Joe Louis Arena with the Red Wings?
Well, you'd think it'd be the only time I beat one guy one-on-one in my whole career and saw Steve Yzerman's eyes the size of his inner plate saucers and words come out of his mouth that I don't think that you'd think Mr. Yzerman would say. But that wasn't it, and because in all reality, sitting here, hindsight is a great thing, and I consider that March 26, 97 game, you gotta hear me out. It's not the fact of the fight, the fact that there was 11 goals, the fact that, you know, I ultimate slap in the face to score the overtime winner after getting 4 minutes for roughing, and Bernie took care of Wash, Andy, but what I tell everybody, and you guys out there can relate to this because it involves all of you. That night, it was as if they dropped that Super Mario, yeah, you're gonna laugh, mushroom, and everybody got, it sort of hit everybody, and at the same time, we just sort of looked around and didn't have to say anything, but we knew it was different. And that's why hindsight's great. So My answer is that if you're ever going to try to convince anybody about what hockey should be like, it's 11 goals, 9 fights, and a 6-5 overtime win. March 26, 97, right about here.
Now, Bernie, you were part of that whole mess. You were part of that whole mess. How'd you feel about going up against Patrick Waugh, one-on-one?
I couldn't believe Patrick Waugh left his net.
Put that mic closer, Mikey. Put that mic closer.
I had to leave my net, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then it was just, I don't know, I think I had an arm of Adam Foote. And he goes, what are you doing? And I go, I don't know. Waugh left the net, I left the net.
Did you guys talk at all during the fight before you even started?
Yeah, and then Waugh jumped me from behind, and here we go. And my brother was a good fighter, so one thing he said to me, if you ever get in a fight, just keep throwing them. And that's all I tried to do.
You did well.
That started the whole mess, and Osgood had to clean it up later on.
It was the most exhausting thing I ever did, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, Darren knows all about that. Now, Thomas Holmstrom, you're next. I remember it was the 11-12 season. After games, you always drove to the airport if we'd leave right after a game to head for a game on the road, and you drove with Nick Lidstrom. And we're on Redbird, and I'm there before you, and Nick gets on Redbird, and he walks past me and he says, because it had to be another one of those nights, he says, how many goals do you think Thomas Holmstrom has cost me in my career?
He told me it was 50.
50? He asked me, I said it was over 30. You thought it was way under 20, though.
Oh, he told me 50, but he had a couple of beers then.
Where did you learn to go to the front of the net like that? We were told you were coming over and you were called the Demolition Man. Where'd you get that nickname?
Yeah, you know, in Sweden it was a little bit chubby boy, so let's put the chubby kid in front of that. So that was my spot. And then I come over here. Scotty wanted me to get faster, and I tried to get faster. He benched me. I had one shift one game. One shift. How fun was that, though? Mac is fighting, Hugh fighting, Steve is scoring goals. Everybody, yeah, I have one shift.
Who, now, this is an age-old question, and we mentioned it during our game on Fox Sports Detroit. Who was better in front of the net, you or Hall of Famer Dino Ciccarelli? Who was tougher to handle?
Oh, Dino. I was
Where's Dino?
Where's Dino? The pitbull Dino. Yeah, he's good.
Dino's got his stick up.
Yeah, he's good. He scored so many goals. Yeah, a little guy though, but he scored. I give him that. Yeah, feisty. I don't know how he did it.
Pretty good.
Good job.
Okay, Mr. Abdelkader, you go to the front of the net like Holmstrom used to do, like Dino did the same thing. Do you find the same kind of damage getting down in front of the net today as these guys did a few years ago?
Oh, not a chance. I'm actually lucky to play when I am now because those guys took a beating. I never forget my first game in Detroit, and I see Homer putting all of his equipment on. I'm like, why are you putting equipment back there and on his calves and on his back? And he looks like a football player going on the ice, but I soon found out that the beating he took in front of the net, that's why he had all that extra equipment on.
We've asked the question to Darren, we've asked it to Homer. Do you have a favorite memory in this building, looking around with this place jammed full after the game like this?
You know, it's obviously the first game was always one of my favorite memories. You know, coming out here the first time, you know, was out here with Michigan State and once in my youth days, but go green. But I think skating out here for your first game, you know, I think, you know, you putting that Red Wings sweater on for the first time, there's really nothing like it. You know, just the history of this organization and being original six team and playing here in front of these great fans, the best in all sports, there's nothing like it.
All right, when you were 5 years old, I know when the teacher asked you to write in a book what you want to do when you grew up, you said you wanted to be a Red Wing, correct?
Correct.
Correct. But I guess you never dreamed of what would happen on this ice late last year, and maybe we're saving the best for last for you. What happened out here, Justin?
talking about the engagement?
I am. Talk about a memory. I don't want to sound like Oprah here, but
All right, we're
you know,
softening
the
this up
internet,
a little
bro. Tell me about it and how it came about, and Julie and everything.
You know, I got to obviously give a lot of credit to Al Sabaka. He was a big help. You know, obviously once you're looking to get engaged during the season, you're pretty limited in where you can do it. This place has always been a special place for me. You know, I feel like I've grown up here as a player, as a person, and you know, Al's like, hey, listen, I got a great idea for you. We can do it at center ice. I'll roll out the red carpet. I just had to trick Julie into coming into the arena. I told her I had to pick up some sticks for charity, so she had to come help me carry them out, and the door was shut to the ice, and as we walked out, I think she had somewhat of an idea, but didn't really know what was going on.
Cool stuff,
Did
man.
well. Beautiful.
Cool.
When's the wedding?
When's the wedding?
July. We're having it down here in Detroit.
July? Beautiful. Nice.
Congratulations. Okay, final question for the gang. Mike Vernon, 1997. Your favorite memory was of winning the cup, and did you recognize at the time what it meant to the city of Detroit after 42 years?
Well, it was after 42 years. It was. We went to the Cup 2 years prior to that, and we lost, and it was a little embarrassing. And I think we learned a lot as a hockey team and as a club. And to come back in '97 and win it, it was a huge feat. And that was obviously there was a massive thing for the Detroit Red Wings, the city of Detroit, but personally, even my career, it extended my career, and I played almost 18 years, so it was nice, and it proved that I could still play in the league.
Isn't it befitting that one of the teams you're talking about was New Jersey in '95, and they were here today?
Yes, ironic.
Well, St. Thomas, anything, you leave this building, I know we're not allowed to take anything out of this building, by the way. When you leave this building, what do you take most out of this? Your fondest memory leaving this building? Is there anything you'd want to take from this building if you could take it out of here? You can't, but if you could.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking Jumbotron me home.
That would look good. Can you top that, Mac? He wants the Jumbotron.
I said it'd light up his whole town of Pityu up near the reindeer up there by Santa.
What about you, Justin?
I'll grab the bench. I'll find a spot for that bench. Put that in my house, living room, maybe.
Last question for you, Abby. You've had your time here at the Joe. What are your thoughts about moving over to Little Caesars Arena in September?
Yeah, we got to tour in March, end of March, and gosh, that place is going to be unbelievable. It's definitely going to be the baddest bowl now of sports. You know, what makes these buildings so special, though, is you guys, the fans. I mean, this is, you guys make it loud and fun to play here and keep us energetic throughout a long season. So we look forward to many great memories in the new building.
We sure do. Thank you to Mike, to Thomas, Darren, Justin, and to you, Mick.
Thank you, guys. See you down the road.
Thank you all. And right now, we're going to hear from some of the Hockey Town icons who were unable to join us this evening. So please direct your attention to that Jumbotron above center ice.
Hey, Hockey Town. This is Sergei Fedorov. Wishing I could be there tonight for the final game at Joe Louis with all of you, my teammates, and former Red Wings to celebrate so many great years and memories. Have a great night. I look forward to seeing everyone soon.
Well, what an unbelievable run it's been. I was only here for end of the years, but it was spectacular. You know, my family would come and enjoy the atmosphere here. Our fans who set a standard for us of excellence. They expected us to be great each and every night, and we're honest if we weren't, and because we won all the time. But great people, great building, lots of winning, and the Ilitch family made it beyond special.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there with you tonight. Going to miss the Joe like all of you. They asked me for my favorite memory. Winning the Stanley Cup in 1997, definitely a highlight of my memories here at Joe Louis Arena with that group of guys. And if I had to pick one specific game, I'd probably pick a game everybody remembers, March 26th, 1997. That's when our team became a team. So going to miss the Joe. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Wayne Gretzky. I just wanted to say my greatest thrill in hockey was the first night I played in Joe Louis Arena, Gordie Howe's last All-Star game. I was a 19-year-old youngster who had one of the most special nights of my life to be beside the greatest hockey player who ever lived. I'll never forget that moment, the ovation and the applause that Gordie Howe had. I want to congratulate the Ilitch family and, of course, the Detroit Red Wings. I'm sure your new home is going to be beautiful. Thank you.
So we've heard from several of the Red Wing players here tonight, but now it's time to hear from the greatest ever behind the bench. From his legendary status with Montreal, our next speaker was hired as Red Wing coach on June 16, 1993, and immediately turned the Wings into Stanley Cup contenders once again. The Hockey Hall of Fame inductee led Detroit to the best record in the West his first year. The following season, the Wings reached their first Stanley Cup final since 1966. In 1997, he led the Wings to their first championship in 42 years, and he did it again in 1998 and in 2002. In all, he spent 9 seasons in Detroit. He's the last NHL coach to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your head coach from 1993 to 2002, Mr. Scotty Bowman.
Thank you, Ken. I'll try to be as brief as I can. I may ramble on a bit, but a special day for everybody coming back to the Joe. And I can say the first time I came here, Wayne Gretzky just mentioned it, I was a coach of the All-Star game. I took some criticism for putting Gordie Howe on the team. He was from Hartford at the time. But it was one of the greatest things I ever did as a coach, to put Gordie Howe on the list. Gordie came back to, I think, the loudest ovation I've ever heard in a sports arena for one person. And he ended up in the third period getting an assist on the winning goal. So not bad for a guy 51 years old. But my career took a good turn when I met Marion and Mike Ilitch in 1993, and they said we needed somebody to come to Detroit. The team was very strong at the time. They wanted somebody with experience, and they felt that I could do it in a couple of years. So I was interested in coming to Detroit for about 2 years. I stayed 15. I coached for 9 years. And I owe everything to Marion and Mike Ilitch for that first invitation. I'll try to give you some memories of mine and yours. I brought along Barry Smith with me from Pittsburgh. Barry stayed even after me. Dave Lewis was in place. And we coached as a group of 3 for 9 years in a row. And we had some ups and downs, like was mentioned, big disappointment in 1995. But with Barry and Dave beside me, it was a wonderful trio. And then I want to honor the man who actually asked Mr. Ilitch to interview me, Jim Devellano. And we worked with Ken Holland and Jim Nill. What a front office for a coach to work with. And you know, when you're a coach in this league or any sport, you don't get an opportunity when you're doing the job to thank the players, how great they were. And boy, when I run through all these players, I think it started around 96. We made a controversial trade to get Brendan Shanahan, who probably was a good piece of the puzzle that we needed. And in 1997, winning the Stanley Cup and having on that team Vladimir Konstantinov and think as a coach, when you have Nick Lidstrom and Vladimir Konstantinov on the ice, not much the other team could do. And then Larry Murphy came along, unfortunately, with the accident for Laddie. And then we had to survive with losing players. Yuri Fisher was another player we lost later on. But then your memories would be in the next season, or even that season, the Russian Five. How I don't know how it happened. I know we had three great Russian players, Vladimir Konstantinov, Sergei Fedorov, and Slava Kozlov. But then getting Igor Larionov and Slava Fetisov, I was so afraid to play them because they were so good. I didn't want the other team to figure out what they were doing, because we didn't know what they were doing. But they were something. And, you know, when you're looking at your coaching and you're wondering, can you imagine this organization had Steve Yzerman and Nick Lidstrom for more than 20 years with one team? I don't... I remember my very first year I came here, and Steve had recovered from a knee injury and had a decent season my first year, and I was thrilled that he was able to play again. And I remember talking to Mike Ilitch after the season, and he said, "Scotty, you haven't seen anything yet." And that was in 1993, and I saw it for the next 9 years. So we were fortunate. You had one member of the grind line with Darren McCarty, Joey Koser, Chris Draper, and Kirk Maltby. They were, you know, the players on our team, there were so many All-Stars and so many Hall of Fame players. But you have to look at the role players that we were able to get and keep in the lineup, and they stayed with the team. And I mean, you know, you fans were so great that you saw players that no other city could see. Can you remember Dino Ciccarelli in front of the net? And then I remember one year we had a scout from Sweden, and Dino had moved on, and he said, "I have a replacement, Thomas Holmstrom." And Thomas, a quick story, Thomas came in and he wanted a high number. And I said, "No, Thomas, we can't give anybody higher than 91. He wanted a high number. I don't know why. And then we bickered back and forth, and he said, "Well, give me 98. And I said, "No, I'll give you 96, because that's the year you'll be going home next year." But he outlasted a lot of people. And then, you know, to win 3 Stanley Cups, and you imagine Mike Vernon, 97, Chris Osgood, 98, Dominic Hasek, 2002. I don't think a team is going to win a cup with those 3 different goalies, but we did it here and here. And then we were interested in extending a player's contract for a couple of years. I remember Kenny Holland made the deal, and he said, "We're going to get a player for a couple of years." And it was from Chicago, one of our good rivals. And when he signed Chris Chelios, and Chris Chelios, I think he lasted 10 years. And you know, on the 2000 Cup team, coaching a team with 9 Hall of Fame players and 1 more to come, Pavel Datsyuk, there'll be never a team in the history of the league that will ever duplicate that team. And I just want to say at the end here, our team doctors, the longevity of Dr. Finley started in 1961. We had all our training staff. Some of them are still here now, and I've been gone for so long. But, you know, it's a special place, Detroit, because the same people keep coming back. You walk in from the parking lot, you know, you run into the maintenance man, Tom Schlang, you see Sheldon Newman, you see Al Sabatka. I mean, it's just somewhere that you wouldn't stay here, and you wouldn't stay here if you didn't like it and you weren't welcome. And I want to say to you fans, you made this franchise what it is today. And I have a lot of confidence you're going to support. What a way to think about this team with a great win today and going into a brand new building and just turning the page and working on the next 25 years. Thank you very much.
And you nailed it again, Scotty. And right at the end, and all the familiar faces, and that's what this place has become. It's really all about family, and that starts with the Ilitch family and comes on down from there. Right now, let's take a look at why, one more time, this incredible building is one of the most iconic, beloved arenas in all of sports.
Empty spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned places, I guess we know the score. On and on, does anybody know what we are looking for? Another hero, another mindless crime behind the curtain.
before we go, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. Raise your sticks to the Raptors one last time as we say farewell to this incredible journey that has been Joe Louis Arena.